All this talk about a boring series, and look what we got. Good basketball. Just what we
Great
want.
basketball.
Excited to be here for game 3. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning back in. It's your boy G along with Alex here at 1600. Appreciate you tuning back in. Like, rate, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff for us. Excited to be here. Game 2 just went down a couple of days ago of the finals of the Heat, even up the series, winning 111 to 108. Kind of proving the little 110 theory that I kind of threw out there, something at the end of the last episode, as well as proving that they are not completely outmatched in the series versus Denver, and put up a valiant performance that we thoroughly enjoy. And excited to talk about all this going on with that, as well as going on in game 3 and beyond. Excited to get into it. Again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And, we'll go ahead and run this intro and jump into it. So here we are, hitting game 3 of the finals. Heat and Nuggets are off to a very fun start. And before we even get more in depth about what went on in the games, just starting on a broad level, there are a lot of folks, as we joked about, that were saying that this was going to be a bad series. And I'm not watching the Heat and Nuggets. There's not enough superstars, and there's not enough, and the Lakers aren't. It's not a big market. Whatever the case, this definitely has been very entertaining. And we get to say to those people who are not interested in this series because of the lack of I guess, appeal that they think is not there.
Yeah, I think I had a tweet about it at the end of the game where I was like, if you're complaining about this finals matchup, you just like don't truly enjoy watching basketball. Like,
right.
These are the two best teams in their respective conferences. I think the Heat have proven that despite them being underdogs in every matchup this playoffs, they've overcome and got the job done against superior talent. And once again, they're going up against superior talent, but still have evened up the series early. So I think if you're complaining about this, either you're more of a casual fan who just enjoys like the superstar names,
right?
While there are one or two superstars in this series, you enjoy the bigger LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant names, and those are who you know and look forward to watching at the end. Or you're a bitter hater of one of these teams who wanted to see your team get to the finals, that kind of thing. But I don't think you can hate on the level of basketball that's going to be played in this series because it's been a great series so far.
Yeah, I got my quote. I got the quote wrong in my how I do it over here. I got the quote wrong in my name. I love basketball. Maybe Will P said that, and that's something I've always said. As I joked about other teams I like watching throughout the year. Whenever the Lakers aren't playing, I always talk about other teams. You guys kind of get mad at me for, you guys be supportive of all these other guys when the Lakers aren't playing. But as someone who really likes basketball beyond just his favorite team, definitely enjoying what's going on in this series. And for the casual that may look at this like, oh, where's the appeal? There's superstars in this series. We have Nikola Jokic and we have Jimmy Butler. We have rising stars. And beyond that, we have Jamal Murray and what he's doing. We see what Bam Adebayo, who's a second player on that Heat squad, is doing, things of that nature, and storylines beyond it as well. Michael Malone and the Nuggets have been talking a little bit now. They feel like they're overlooked by a lot of people to the point about the casuals. But they're here proving everybody wrong and showing what they deserve to be, the top team that they've shown themselves to be all year long. And the Heat, on the opposite end, are a squad that was overlooked all year long. Didn't think to get back to the finals after they got there a few years ago. But found their way miraculously throughout this playoffs into the series and shown that not only can it not only was a miracle, I guess, that they got here, but it was deserved that they got here with the work that they put in and how they've beat all the teams that they have done to get here. So definitely appreciate all that's going on in this series. A lot of fun stuff going on, and just this is something that folks that are, again, as you pointed out, saying that they are uninterested in or missing out on some great basketball here and thoroughly enjoying what's going on. So just want to get that out the way first. Sure. At the same time, I will also add in real quick. The NBA is not helping itself by adding those little storylines to distract you from what's going on the court. There's all these fake stories about LeBron and Kyrie going to Dallas.
I don't know if it's fake or not. It could be a real rumor. Yeah.
There's no need for these stories. There's a lot of things that could distract you from what's going on the court. Don't let all the other drama of what's going on outside take away from what's going on here during this series, and definitely tune in still and enjoy all that we present on the court. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun stuff there. And now going to the actual game itself, as we said, game 2 went down, and it was a surprising game for some folks. As we said, folks thought that Denver was going to stay ahead in the series, but Miami fought their way back and won 111, 108. What was your first takeaway from Miami's victory in game 2?
Yeah, I think we both had them winning that game too, right? Miami.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think unlike many people, we think this is going to be a deep series, and it's starting to play off as such.
Right.
I think a major takeaway for me is Miami has got to be really encouraged that they were able to win that game with a kind of mediocre Jimmy Butler performance. He turned it on in the fourth quarter and had some key buckets late. But throughout the game, it was a kind of passive performance from him offensively, where we thought he was going to respond a little bit more aggressively coming off game 1, where they only had 2 free throw attempts and they didn't really attack the rim very much. And he's still, it seems like his first look is to pass it, like kind of like a Draymond, where he's driving to pass versus driving to look at the rim to score. It worked out because the 3 undrafted guys, that they were my major key for that win for the Heat as well. Max Strus, he answered the call in this game with his 4 threes. I think got up early in the first half. He was putting them down. Duncan Robinson had a huge fourth quarter.
We'll get more to him in a minute.
And then Gabe Vincent, the leader of the pack, leading scorer for the Heat with 23 big ones. So they were able to pick up the slack for Jimmy, who wasn't as aggressive offensively as I thought he would be. And I think they need him to be if they want to win the series. But they should be encouraged that despite that, they were able to get a win on the road, a Denver team that's been undefeated at home throughout this playoff. So big win for Miami.
Throughout the whole playoffs, teams keep saying, well, he's not going to keep making these shots, so eventually we'll just go ahead.
Shot like 50% from 3. Yeah.
And then the Heat make the shots, and it's like, oh, all right, well, here we are. So yet again, game 1, we saw what happened when the shots didn't fall, but the big takeaway that we had, as you see in this picture, they were getting open looks in game 1, they just weren't falling. Now in game 2, they have got the same opportunities, and the shots went in, and we got different results. So seeing the chess match that's being played in this series, seeing how these guys are maneuvering and finding ways to get the look that they want, definitely is my first takeaway. That the chess match from the coaches, Spoelstra has the upper hand slightly in what's going on here, and the players just have to follow suit to execute and get the job done. So definitely good stuff there. And then with that kind of being the point in regards to Miami kind of having a blueprint that technically, quote unquote, worked in both games. They again just didn't make the shots in game 1. Is Miami now favored in this series going forward, or you still think and you have Heat coaching in your little tag too? Are they favored are the Heat favored now going forward, or is it still Denver series to lose?
I think it's still Denver series to lose. I think they're ultimately the more talented and slightly deeper team, but it is closer than many may have thought going into it. I think the pressure is more lean towards Denver. If you have like a sliding scale of the pressure going on throughout the series, I think it's more towards Denver's side, where I think they need to steal one of these games in Miami now that Miami has stolen one from them at home.
Right.
Because I mean, as I said, they've been undefeated at home, and now they've given up that home court advantage. And I think Miami is going to be riding off that win of game 2, and they're going to come out firing once again at home. And have that home crowd behind them, and have their role players probably playing a little bit better, like at home. So I think it's going to be key for Denver to steal one now. But I do think they're still the slightly favored to win the series. Yeah.
I picked the Heat before the series started. As we said, I was hesitant, but as the series went on, I got more confident in that choice. And yeah, I'm still sticking with that and think that the Heat, I'm just seeing the chess match again, just going to the court or beyond the court, seeing how it still feels like Spoelstra has the upper hand in this series. I'm definitely confident leaning in him and think that the Heat can really take full control of the series going forward and get the job done with how things have been executed so far. So definitely good things there. And we've talked more in favor of the Heat, and we'll get more into that. Of course, they won the game, but in regards to how they were able to stop the Nuggets in that, there was a joke, I guess, or supposed to be a comment after the game when asked about it, about people saying, where is this picture at? people talking about the untrained eye in regards to Ramona Shelburne, excuse me, asked him about stopping Jokic in a way and allowing him to score more and not allowing him pass and get his assists as he also usually does. And Spoelstra kind of blew it off and said that's the untrained eye saying stuff like that. But truthfully, I mean, that's what we had seen in both the Lakers series. We said if you don't allow the other guys around Jokic to dominate and just make him the primary scorer, that would be the thing, and that's what happened here. And they actually fully executed, and they actually got the job done. Must be nice for Miami rather than us. But yeah, just seeing what was going on with Denver. Yeah, what do you think about how they were able to, I guess, neutralize the others around Jokic?
Yeah, it was kind of an abrupt shutdown from Spoelstra of Ramona's question, and she even said it was probably an oversimplification to say like you just make him a scorer, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And I think partially Spoelstra shutting down the question is trying not to give Denver that bulletin board material that Mike Malone loves to use as the Denver Nuggets have been spited and that kind of thing. He loves to like add that additional chip to their shoulder. Right. So I think it was partially that because we've seen, I don't have the record in front of me, but I believe they're like a 400, maybe 350 percent team when Jokic has like less than like 5-6 assists, something like that. He had 4 assists in this game. He had a huge 40 points. But that like kind of plays into the narrative that if you make him more of a scorer and you make him make his teammates have to pick up the slack offensively, they're not as successful as a team. I think I agree with Spoelstra that it's easier said than done. Like it's not just like, oh, you just make him a scorer. Like make him a scorer is kind of like I don't know, like Ramona said, oversimplifying things.
Yeah, correct.
Because you're not just like, oh, we're just gonna let him get 40, and then, but no, like there's a lot more that goes into the defensive schemes that they put out there, and that kind of thing. But I think you've seen it's a winning formula statistically when Jokic is not getting the 10 plus assist games like he did in game 1 with his 14. And part of that is not doubling him, like not doubling Jokic to where like the Lakers did, and they were doubling off guys that were 1 pass away, so he was able to just pass it up to a wide open guy and they would get clean looks from 3. So part of it is the defensive scheme. It's not as easy as just we're gonna let him score and make the other guys beat us, but there is some credence to that if you make the rest of the Nuggets beat you, you have a better shot at winning the game against them.
Yeah, definitely a big thing there. Again, it was oversimplified, but kind of as you even see in this picture, it's Robinson not fully turning his body to Jokic, but more so just flash your hand and just apply a little pressure and stay into where your man is at, because he knows because Jokic knows if you fully turn to him, he can dump it back over to his guy and get an open shot. So yeah, definitely just how they have schemed against him has been nice, and then how they shut down the others as a result of that as well. Definitely has been a great thing. Jamal Murray didn't have as impactful of a game as we hoped from him. Also, we saw that Michael Porter Jr. was damn near completely neutralized. Only had like 5 points. He was not that same guy that people had seen all postseason long. And yeah, definitely their impact, their lack of impact was felt. So yeah, I think the Heat have something there, and seeing that they can stop these other guys and do what they need to do with them to find ways to win this series. With Jokic and with Jimmy Butler, as you kind of alluded to earlier on, both of those guys scored. They truly score when they need to. It's like they prefer to distribute and help and contribute however else they can across the court. But scoring is not going to say the last thing on their mind. But again, it's done out of necessity than out of I guess enjoyment, however else you want to describe it, as many other guys do. So yeah, seeing how those guys operate, seeing how and then in response, seeing how they're defended. Yeah, it's definitely been interesting to watch. So good stuff there. Where would you like to go next with that in regards to game 2?
I think just touching on the defense that Miami played and the scheme from Spoelstra that while Jokic did get his 40, the other guys weren't able to get as clean of looks. I think it was major credit to Spoelstra and how he, as you have in that picture, he started with Kevin Love. I said I thought we might see some Kevin Love in this series. So he showed Denver a different look there, a stretch big that could shoot and has that NBA Finals experience as well. And then switching between the man and zone defense, I think was huge too, showing Denver different looks throughout the game. So kind of keeping them on their toes. And I think you have to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at the Nuggets, at Jokic, because he's that elite of a talent and a playmaker. So showing them those different looks, I thought allowed them to make Denver uncomfortable and take them out of rhythm. They started the game off really slow and were able to battle back. But I think the Heat kind of controlled much of this game. And that was credit, I think, to Spoelstra and his defensive scheme.
Something that you said and I've heard said, and I somewhat agree with it, but just in regards to this series, does Denver actually have more depth than Miami? Because we saw once Michael Porter Jr. for Denver was shut down, and Jamal couldn't find his shot and things that they didn't really have many more options to turn to, and their starting lineup is always going to be what it is, and their rotation with their three guys that they bring off the bench with Braun and KCP, I believe it is, and I forgot who the third guy is off the bench as well. And with that rotation, those 8 guys are set as is. As you see with Miami, they can play with their lineups a little bit. They can throw in Cody Zeller, even if he doesn't work. They can throw Cody Zeller in there. They can put Kevin Love in the starting lineup. That Tyler Hero, he's out for Game 3 still, but potentially he's on the way. They have options that they can continue to turn to continue to throw at the Denver squad. So does Denver actually have more depth than this Heat squad? And could that potentially be a detriment to them in the long run of the series?
I think Denver does have slightly more depth. I think the Heat kind of play more guys out of necessity. Like, you'd like to have an 8-man rotation at this stage in the playoffs. And that's essentially what Denver does. I think Mike Malone had a comment in the Lakers series where it's like, you can't get away with playing like specialists at this point in the series.
Sure.
At this point in the season. And I think there is some truth to that. And I think Miami kind of gets away with playing some specialists, how like they get away with playing Duncan Robinson for 20 minutes because they have other guys that pick up the slack and they play great team defense. But he's really kind of a defensive liability who's a great shooter. So that's why you want to have him out there. Correct. That kind of thing. And I think to your point, about Denver's depth, I think they need to utilize a guy in this picture more in Michael Porter Jr. Make sure like they get him in rhythm early because he is a talented scorer, he's a talented shooter, and he struggled these first 2 games. I forget if it was him specifically, maybe a year or 2 ago, who kind of had complaints about Denver's offense, saying that like it became a little predictable between the Jokic and Murray pick and roll, and how teams like know that's coming. It's really hard to stop. Like, even if you know it's coming, it's still hard to stop because of how talented that duo is. But it does get a bit predictable. And when you're going against an elite all-time head coach in Spoelstra, it may hurt you a little bit to be predictable offensively because he is a great coach and a great coach at making adjustments. So maybe they need to get Michael Porter Jr. a little bit more involved in the offense. I think he only took like 8 shots in game 2. So utilizing a bit of the depth that they have in different ways probably would be beneficial for the Nuggets. But I do think that they have a solid 7 or 8 guys that they can rely on.
Got you. So definitely good stuff there. Definitely interested to see how he gets utilized more. I'm going for in the series. Something I want to go back to, and I glossed over him when I should have stated there in the moment. But real quick, just to go back to Miami, Duncan Robinson and how he's changed his game definitely deserves some attention. It wasn't as big. Look at the box score, as big as it was bigger than the box.
It was a big 10 points for the fourth quarter, though.
Yeah. 2 threes. He was all over the court, though. And people have been joking online all the time. Duncan Robinson got in the playoffs and changed his whole archetype. He's now a slasher now and dribbling and has a handle out of nowhere and all kinds of stuff. Like, this is Duncan Robinson that was stuck at the bottom of the bench in a bunch of trade rumors all season long. He is a guy that has really contributed greatly during this run. And yeah, it's just been great to see. To your point about Michael Porter Jr. trying to find his spot, what do you think about Duncan Robinson finding his footing in various new ways in this series?
Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy almost blows a gasket every time he pump fakes and gets a dribble drive to the rim. he's like, I am surprised at how much he's evolved his game, man. I'm like, dude, you say this every time, but yeah, it has been like impressive for him to see him kind of expand his game a little bit. Like he was paid that 90 million or whatever solely because of his 3-point shooting, and he
Right.
has added a little bit more of an element of unpredictability in that way. Like his 3-point shot has opened up his drives to the rim as well.
Right.
And he had a couple of nice finishes and one where I think where he got to get this mean mug off
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, it was a huge 10 points from him in that fourth quarter that Miami needed to kind of weather the storm as Denver was mounting the comeback. And I think he's been an essential piece for them in this playoff run. So salute to him for being more than just a shooter. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned earlier, with Tyler Hero being out still during this run, having another guy that can come in and contribute as he has. Again, though it only was 10 points, to have the impact that he had, without having a guy like Tyler Hero, who usually is the one making those plays, definitely is helpful for them. And yeah, excited to see how this Heat team carries on without him going forward. So yeah, a lot of good stuff there in game 2. Definitely looking forward to what all is next with them. What else do I want to talk about? We got to talk about the 4-point or 4-6, talk about the 5 points. We talked about all of that. Yeah, that's really it for game 2 as I look at it. We can return to Steve Kerr's quotes maybe another time. But yeah, a lot of good stuff here. Yeah, that wrap up for game 2. That in regards to our discussion, that'll be it. In regards to game 3, or yeah, going to game 3, but also wrapping up game 2. G's units. My pick didn't hit yet
How'd they
again.
do?
I was 2 for 3, but
Okay.
the part that I put down had to hit all 3, so
Yeah.
didn't quite get there. But we're still fighting to see another day. But as for the winner, Vic actually, the guy who's been on the show a few times now, Vic, salute to him. Won on the polls, having some fun with the polls now. Have a few real things for you guys to watch. Also some fun things. I think the last one we talked about Heat culture. How many times we're going to say that? We talked about Jamal Murray doing his bow and arrow celebration, things of that nature. So we'll figure out what's next for game 3. But there'll be fun things for you guys to tune into.
Will Tyler Hero wear the bucket hat?
Yeah, we'll talk about Tyler Hero's fit before the game. I'll make sure the poll is posted before then, and all kinds of stuff. We'll Jeff Van Gundy make a joke about Tyler Hero's outfit. That'll be one of the polls.
Yeah, Stan already did it, so yeah.
Yeah, right. So good stuff there, among other things. But now we go into game 3. I have our predictions. Just my picks, my G's units that we are here in the moment for game 3. I had Jimmy Butler under 25.5 points.
Wait, hold up. Is that the Apple thing?
Oh yeah, they got that's what I mean. They already got the new Apple glasses on them.
Oh, they did that on Prize Picks? I thought you did that for a
second.
No,
I didn't do that. They literally did that themselves. That's shout out to Prize Picks.
That's funny.
They did that themselves. Yeah, Apple just rolled out all their iOS 17 stuff, as well as their new, I forgot exactly what their name is, with their VR glasses that are going to be coming out in the next year or so. So definitely cool stuff there, and people are making jokes about it, and they included it on Jimmy Butler's picture as Project obviously has fun with things there. I'm surprised they didn't have the Duncan Robinson meme mug as a picture for Duncan, but oh well, we'll get to that in a second. But Jimmy Butler under 25.5 points, and we talked about him being effective in other ways beyond just scoring the ball. I think he'll contribute and he'll put points on the board. I don't think he'll get over 25. So that'll be it for him. Michael Porter Jr., I don't think he'll shoot over 70.5 3-pointers. I think he'll get shots up more. He'll be more aggressive in this game and want to have his presence felt, but I think it'll be more contribution beyond 3-point line. So yeah, I have him under 70.5 3-pointers. And the last one, Duncan Robinson, I put him for 2 3-pointers, actually, contrarily to Michael Porter Jr., with him being back effective in this lineup and balling as he's been at home as well. Tyler Hero also being out still for game 3, as we mentioned earlier. I think Duncan gets enough minutes to get a couple 3-pointers made, and that hopefully finally gets you back in the win column there. So good stuff to look forward to, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, fun stuff for G's Juniors. I think I'll always tune into that. Salute to Prize Picks kinda until we get a sponsorship with them, and looking forward to what's next. Now we go into game 3. Let's talk about who you got winning this next matchup.
Yeah, I got another close game, as I think most all of these games will be. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to ride the hot hand, though. I think Miami does win this next game, and in another 1-2 possession game. Right. I think Denver does come out strong as well, as they understand the moment. But I just think going back home, coming off the win, being in your home building where your role players who already have given you strong performances, I think are going to be up to the challenge, whereas Denver's role players might not be hitting those open shots at as high a clip. And yeah, I think while Miami has quote unquote found a formula, I don't think they necessarily like have like the control of the series necessarily.
Right.
But I do think that Denver is going to split these games. But I think Miami gets this one. So I'm going to go with Miami in game 3.
I'm on with Miami in game 3 as well. I guess for beyond the game, as we try to joke about other stuff, we've seen a couple of times where Denver, as you joked about earlier, gets ahead in the series, wherever the case, and Mike Malone gets to talking, and they can get real boisterous. Contrarily, Miami guys seem to be eating kill on that side. Jimmy Butler keeps his head down and clearly is focused and on a mission, really wanting to get this job done. There is a thing about his shirts he wears after every game. People joke about every once in a while. He has the four more wins and 3 more wins, and it's like, all right, whatever. But beyond that, he on the court and press conferences and all seems very even keel and truly focused on getting this job done. And I don't think him finding the formula, as you mentioned, will ease up how they play in this game, and they'll still come up focused and want to make sure that they execute and get the job done to get over the hump here. So yeah, I have Miami getting ahead in this series. Definitely excited for it, and yeah, looking forward to how it actually plays out.
Yeah, I'll say too, like Denver has been about 500 on the road into the playoffs. I think they're 4-3. So that points to more so why I see a split coming. I don't see Denver taking both or Miami taking both. Yeah. I think these are two
the same way.
Pretty evenly matched teams.
This one, Denver wins game 4, and then it starts going. Exactly. From there.
Exactly. But I will push back on one thing that you had less for 25.5 for Jimmy. I think Jimmy has a big offensive game in this one because he's had 2 kind of so-so games. He finished with 21 actually in game 2, but it was kind of inefficient and much of it was in the fourth quarter. But I do think, because I think it's going to be a hotly contested game and Jimmy hasn't been as high a producer in the scoring column, I think he gets back in the high 20s, low 30s in this game 3 in order for them to get the win.
That's possible. But I think we see maybe even more of an uptick from the 3-point shooters at home now of Gabe Vincent, Duncan, and Strus, and all those guys. They wanted to redeem themselves in game 2 and did just that. I think they build upon it even more in this game. We didn't really talk about Bam at all in this game. Bam
great on both sides. Yep.
Was very effective. Was great on both sides, and I think he could be he'll contribute enough in the game as well to really I guess take away quote unquote enough from Jimmy to get under that 25. But I do hear what you're saying, that Jimmy either way will definitely be more aggressive and help this team get over the hump, as we both see them winning this game 3. So yeah, I can see it
for sure.
Any other things you want to talk about with the game, or is that it?
I believe that's it. Yeah.
Anything else you want to sneak in at the end then? Any yeah, or is that it?
No? I think that's it. We'll
breeze past.
We'll take your advice and focus on the NBA Finals for now.
Cool. Yeah, we breeze past all the other stuff going on right now. We'll leave it at that. We want you guys to focus on the finals as we are, and we're going to do just that and leave it here. So again, thank you for tuning in. If you love basketball or if you're casual, definitely tune into this series and enjoy it all, and stay tuned with us as well as we're covering this game and going along with it and having a great time. So yeah, good stuff all across the board here. Appreciate you tuning in as always. It's your boy G with Alec. Another great episode of the show here. Continue to like, rate, review, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff, and we'll be back after game 3 to get you ready for the rest of the series. So appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all again real soon, man. Appreciate it. Peace.
Deuces.